वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। We will have the Namasmarana and then we will move into the topic real freedom. Om Om Mantram Sadhana Mantram Om Om Mantram Om Om Mantram Sadhana Mantram Sadhana Mantram Ram Ram Mantram Ram Ram Mantram Taraka Mantram Taraka Mantram Klim Klim Mantram Klim Klim Mantram Karshana Mantram Karshana Mantram Vem Vem Mantram Vem Vem Mantram Nirbhaya Mantram Nirbhaya Mantram Hum Hum Mantram Hum Hum Mantram Bhadrata Mantram Bhadrata Mantram Aim Aim Mantram Aim Aim Mantram Vidhya Mantram Vidhya Mantram Hrim Shrim Mantram Hrim Shrim Mantram Aishwarya Mantram Aishwarya Mantram Dum Dum Mantram Dum Dum Mantram Bhayahara Mantram Bhayahara Mantram Om Om Mantram साधनमन्त्रम् ॐ ॐ मन्त्रम् साधनमन्त्रम् 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 हरि ओम नमस्ते. At the outset, I would like to express my deep gratitude and thankfulness to the Veda group who have organized this event, especially Shri Ramji and Sunita ji and all other selfless dedicated sevaks. At such a short notice, they have very positively, enthusiastically, energetically and lively responded and said yes, in consultation, coordination and support with the temple, Veda Temple, we will be able to do it. And this is what is the result of it. It is very rare that the group members are all dedicated, are all inspired by the greater and higher spiritual values, and also serving the society in various ways, serving the community in many ways, touching the lives and hearts of the people. So may this wonderful work be blessed by Bhagavan Perumal Venkateshwara Swami ji, and may it continue to flourish and reach out to many, many people. I feel very honored to be here again, and it is a blessed opportunity for all of us. Harihi Om. Real freedom. Of course, we are living in a free country where nothing is free. We have to pay for everything, of course. With payment, then we can experience freedom. But political freedom, economical freedom, social freedom, freedom from relatives, freedom from people who are trying to control us, all that is there. When somebody instructs us, guides us, conditions us, we want to be free. But real freedom is something different. It is connected with our own very self, the Atman. When the mind is observed by us, generally we are involved in the pursuits of the mind, identified with the mind and although the objects that are there in the mind, content of the mind, and also sometimes attached and addicted also. But if we are able to observe the movement of the mind, it has got two kinds of important movements. One is outward movement, which of course we are into it and always into it, most of the time into it. And sometimes there is inward movement. The inward movement meaning withdrawing the mind from objects, objective pursuits, and turning the mind towards the subject, becoming aware of the subject, the observer, the watcher, the witness, the knower, the awareness, the conscious presence, whichever name we may want to call it. So withdrawing the mind from the objective world or from objects, sense objects, and also from senses, and turn inwards towards the very subject. Later on, of course, when we totally withdraw from the object, there is no more subject, because subject is with reference to object. When objects are no more there, totally tuned to the subject, and subject doesn't remain anymore as a subject, but it ends up as conscious awareness or awareness of consciousness. Subject alone in its purest state is divine self. When the mind is not in this kind of movement, but when the mind goes inwards, it goes upwards automatically. Evolution of an individual happens when the mind turns inwards. So inward movement and upward movement are linked together, just as outward movement and downward movement are also connected together. The more we go outwards, and there is every possibility that the level of the purity goes downwards because of our identification, involvement, attraction and attachment, so on and so forth. So we need to be aware of these two movements. Of course, in order to interact with the world, exchange things with the world, gain things in the world, do our part in the world, we need to get involved in the outward movement. But knowingly getting involved in the outward movement is different. Unknowingly getting involved in the outward movement is entirely different. So knowingly getting involved makes our inward movement easy. Unknowingly, if we get involved in the outward movement, it becomes very difficult for us to turn the mind inwards, because it is already identified, attached and then totally engrossed in it. So inward movement will take us to the subject, outward movement will get us involved with the object. Subjective relationship will elevate us, enhance us, will help us to evolve, gain more happiness, more peace, more contentment, more satisfaction, more enthusiasm, more energy, because we are all linked to the divine levels of consciousness. It is said in the Upanishads that when we go out into the world, worldly objects, the main reason is delusory attractiveness. In other words, called as moha. Delusion or delusory attractiveness of the sense objects and senses, because it gives some pleasures, some kind of happiness. So this kind of delusory attractiveness is there. Because of this delusory attractions, one gets involved in the material world, outside world. And this also, this involvement in the material world for the inner self in a delusory way, because of this delusory attraction, which of course is not realistically real but apparently real, it gets us, or it gets the Atman into embodiment, meaning getting into the body. And once it gets into embodiment, it gets involved with the transmigration also, getting into birth after birth continuously, birth, death, birth, death. So the Atman, which by its very nature is pure subject, is objectless conscious awareness, because of this delusion gets involved with the senses and sense objects and gets identified with the world and attached with the world, and then can finally involved with the world and gets into embodiment and gets into transmigration. So the outward movement gets into downward movement and gets us into embodiment and transmigration. Here we are. So then what we have to do? We have to understand the nature of it. In the true sense, realistically, when we try to understand, we come to know that this Atman, which has gone outwards in its movement and got involved with the world and got into entrapment, enslavement, embodiment and transmigration, is actually under subjection. Under subjection means submission to something, under control of someone, under domination of someone, under the authority of someone, become a slave to someone. So the embodiment is also called as enslavement. Of course, when we go deeper into Vedanta, it is that it is not real Atman, it is only the reflection Atman in the byproduct of the Maya called as Antakarana. In the Antakarana, like the sun getting reflected, the sun's reflection is there, it gets identified, like that the Atman's reflection gets identified, and that gets into embodiment, and that gets into transmigration. Okay, fine. But actually, as long as we cannot separate the one who transmigrates and the one who witnesses this transmigration, we become one with it, so we are involved with it. So we call it as Atman getting involved with the embodiment and transmigration. The real condition or the real nature of the Atman is freedom. That itself is real freedom. The real nature of Atman is real freedom. It is never bound, it is never entangled, it is never embodied, it never transmigrates. There is no question of any birth and death to the Atman. It is unborn, it is undying, it is undecaying, it is immortal, it is fearless. It has never got into anything like that. But who is the one who got into it? It is the ego, which is aham, I, that is a byproduct of the Maya. Antakarana is again a product of the Maya. In that there are four components: buddhi, manas, chitta, ahankara. Ahankara, aham karta iti ahankara, aham, I. That alone is getting into identification with the mind and the contents of the mind and the senses and the objects and the world and the worldliness, and that is how the real state of freedom is forgotten. The awareness of our real state of freedom is forgotten. When we get into a dream, we can dream that we are something else, and we have dream relationships, and we can go on in that dream for many years also, and suddenly when we wake up, it is a matter of few seconds or couple of minutes. When we wake up, the entire relationship with the dream is no more there, even though the remnants of dream are there in the mind. It is no more there. Like that, when we wake up from this, then we will understand what is the real freedom. How to gain real freedom? One of the methods that is tapascharya, austerity. We have to do lot of tapas. Meaning what? Practice so many austerities, good things. And also we have to have chastity, meaning the purity. Not only brahmacharya, brahmacharya is not only not marrying, but disciplined married life also is brahmacharya. So we need to have that kind of chastity. Suppose we have them, then there is a probability that we can get advanced in our spiritual progress. Not that it is guaranteed that we will gain that level of pure subjectivity or real state of Atma Tattva. Possibility is there, but through senses, through mind, through intellect memory, through ego, we will not be able to attain that self. Unless and until we transcend this, we will not be able to attain that kind of state. But what happens here is, neither by words, nor by speech, nor by lectures, nor by discourses, nor by any other kind of practices, the attainment of self is guaranteed. Purification of mind is possible, because attainment of mind is not based on karma. It is not a product of karma. Karma only purifies. We have to go beyond that very karma. Kartrutva bhavana, karma, when we go beyond it, then only in that state of actionless purity we will be able to attain. We can't even call it as attainment ultimately. We know our true nature. In other words, we always know it, but we have forgotten that we know it. That awareness of knowledge or consciousness of our true nature is no more there. We have to gain that. Why? Because our mental thinking is completely involved with senses. When that kind of involvement with senses is purified, mind is purified, the self that is always shining forth reveals itself. Not that it specially shines, it is always shining. Our mind will be able to notice its revelation, recognize its revelation. It is so beautiful, it is nice. Then it will feel that yes, it has revealed itself to me. It radiates its light through my mind, through me. And through the mind, through the senses, it radiates to the entire surroundings, external world, to everybody. That self is infinite, so its radiation is also infinite, of purity of energy. So that kind of self is unaffected by bodily changes, changes in the mind, changes in the world. Any change, because change is suffering, change is pain, change is disturbance, and change is stress, and change is tension. Because every change gives us something or other. Even positive changes also gives us stress and some pressures. Negative changes, of course, all negative feelings, experiences. So, when we know that there is inside us which is changeless, which is not affected by changes, then we come to understand the real freedom. The self in its real freedom is never born and it never dies. It has not come from anywhere. Because it is everywhere, it has not come from anywhere. There is no particular place from this self has come. You and I all have come from some place to this temple, Veda Temple. Because we are not here, we were there, we came here. Our existence is limited at the body level, at the antakarana level. It is limited, bound by time, bound by space, bound by objectivity or causation. But the divine self, the actual self, our inner self, the real Atman or the Brahman, it is not limited. So it has not come from anywhere and it does not go anywhere. When it has not come from anywhere, it has no need to go anywhere. We have to go back because we have come here. The Atman is always there. And it has not become anything. You and I want to become something. Become great, become pious, become pure, become higher, become rich, become beautiful, become popular, become powerful, become leader, become follower. All that is there. We want to become. But for the self, there is nothing to become, no need to become. We want to become because we have lack, we have that sense of lack. We don't have, we are empty, we are feeling lacking of something. Only when we gain something, we will fulfill. Only when we attain something, achieve something, acquire something, possess something, own something, experience something, control something, keep under our clutches of something, then we will feel, yes, we gained something. Whether it is power, authority, name, fame, popularity, richness, anything. So then only we feel complete, but also temporarily. Afterwards again incompleteness is there. Every experience gives us temporary state of fulfillment. After again some time we will again feel unfulfilled. That is why our chase goes on, pursuit goes on. So the Atman is ever fulfilled. There is no desire, there is no wish, there is no want, because it is everything. It has everything. Everything has come out of the divine Atman. When everything has come out of it, everything belongs to it. It is everything. It is everywhere. When it is everything, where is the need for it to gain something which it has not got? You and I want to gain because we think, in every birth we think, first time we are gaining this. Like that we have gained so many number of times, in so many number of births. But still that quest continues. Every time we think first time, first experience, first meeting, first encounter, first this, first that. But when we go back, so many firsts have come and gone. Countless number of times. Like somebody says in one of the Upanishads, the whole world is our burial ground. Because we don't know how many thousands of times we were born and what all places we were born, we don't know. So when we know something, we say we know this, we know that address, we know this address, we had been there, we visited this place, sightseeing there. Like that we can also say, you know everything, every place, because every place I might have died, meaning I might have born. So every place it is my birthplace, it is my death place also. Maybe my funeral ground or my burial ground. In Upanishad it is said. That is our identity. But still our pursuit continues. Still that incompleteness is there. Still the sense of lacking is there. Every time we think that we will become complete by gaining something, owning something, possessing something, experiencing something. I am not saying no, we should not gain anything. When it is dharmic, when it is ethical, when it is moral, we have to gain only. Because Bhagavan himself has given the permission. What is not against dharma, you experience everything. According to dharma, you gain everything, experience, enjoy, revel, flourish, become rich, become famous, do everything. But how many times? Is there an end to it? Only when we understand that that divine self need not gain anything, need not wish anything, want anything, because it has everything, it is everything. Atman is, that is existence, it is. But we can't be at ease when we even intellectually know that our inner self is. We can't be at ease, because that is the disease. You always want to do something, gain something, prove something, show something. Nowadays, especially the days of reels, the fellow who doesn't have anything also wants to make reels. Because who tests whether it is genuine or not genuine? What is the pramana? What is the shastra pramana? Nothing. Anybody can do anything. And everybody is become a teacher now and searching for followers. So the point is, the self is at ease. And the great masters who realize that self, who attain that self, are also at ease. They don't want anything. They don't want even to claim what they have taught, what they have written. There is hardly an Upanishadic rishi who has written Upanishads, wrote something. It is written by me. But I copy from it and say I wrote it. And I publish the book and I earn money also from it. That is a different story. But actual rishi doesn't want anything. Because he is full, all fullness. When that is all fullness, what is there to gain? What is there to wish? What is there to want? There is no need to want anything, gain anything. So that is why the self or the Atman neither kills anyone nor gets killed by anyone. It is never affected by the world at all. Whatever happens in the world, it cannot touch the Atman. Being in the world, but nothing can touch the Atman at the level of the Atman. But when we forget that, everything touches us, everything influences us, everything affects us, everything disturbs us. And once in a while we feel we want relief from all these things. Again, for some time we get relief, and again we get involved, again we want to get relief. So this continuous goes on and on and on and on. So this Atman slays not, nor it is slain, as per the Upanishad. Atman is independent of the matter, and Atman always transcends the matter. Matter cannot affect or involve or drag the Atman into anything. It is only the abhasa of the Atma. In one way, the entire space is infinite. There is no limitation to the space. But if we keep a vessel, suppose we keep this glass. Now this is the glass space. The glass has not divided the space, but from the standpoint of the dimensions of the glass, we say it is a glass space. Outside, infinite space, hall space. Outside, total temple space. Outside, total space, infinite space. But temporarily, this is called as a glass space. This itself is an abhasa. It is not really divided, it is not really limited, it is not really conditioned. It apparently appears as if it is conditioned. Glass space. Like that, the infinite all-pervading self, because of this body, mind, intellect, memory, ego, equipment, it appears as if it is conditioned. It appears as if it is limited. Like this space. Even though it is glass space, it is not glass space. But for transactional purpose, we have to say glass space. I can't say infinite space in the glass. You will think he is a fool. he is out of senses. But actually the truth is that. Similarly, that self which appears to be conditioned by the body, mind, intellect, memory, ego, equipment, apparently it is appearing as if it is limited, but actually it is unlimited, all pervading space. One is abhasa. Another one, abhasa, another abhasa or pratibimba is the reflection of the sun in the sky in the pond or the pool of water. Any change in the water, in the lake or in the pond, it influences the reflection. Reflection is influenced, not the sun. Suppose the sun falls into mirror, the reflection of the mirror, if you position the mirror in one particular direction, the reflection falls there. It appears as if the mirror is conditioning the light of the sun. The light of the reflection, the light of the sun, both appear same, but not same. Whatever happens to the reflection doesn't happen to the original. Like that, whatever happens to the so-called apparently conditioned Atman doesn't happen to the Parabrahman, which is again Atman, not different from the Atman. So, this we have to understand. Once there was an interview that was being conducted in a railway department for the post of a switchman. He switches the levers, he switches the signals and all that. So then the interview, there were a couple of people who were interviewing this switchman who appeared for the interview, and one such person was there. So the interviewing officer asked him, suppose you are appointed as a switchman, and then suddenly you notice that on one single track, two trains are coming in the opposite direction. What you will do? It is an interview. So he said, sir, I will go and then switch the levers. When I switch the lever, one train goes in one track, another train goes in another track. Accident averted. What if levers are jammed? Interview. And he said, I will switch on the signals, utilize the signals, so that because of the signal, the train watches the signal and stops. What if the signal also is jammed? I will hold the red flag and run in between the track, between the trains on the track, so that the drivers can notice and stop the train. What if the drivers don't notice? For everything something is being said. Now this interviewer, the candidate said, then I will call my uncle. Huh? You will call your uncle? What your uncle will do? He is very eager to watch two trains collide. He will watch. So what else the candidate can do? Everything they say something. What else? He will say that's what. And he was selected. Because the officers interviewing said, he's a smart guy. Very smart answer. He is selected. Sometimes it happens. But don't take it for granted in interviews like that. Once there was a patient who went to a psychiatrist because he had some problem, peculiar problem. So the psychiatrist, after listening to him for a long period of time, psychiatrist also felt he has got something of that problem. So then in order to get out of it, he showed some picture to the patient and said, what is this? This is a lock and the keyhole in the lock and then the picture of a girl. And the girl beside the lock. Lock, keyhole of the lock, and a girl beside it. Oh. Then they showed another picture. Then this, what is it? Then this patient said, wall, hole in the wall, window is a hole in the wall, window, and a girl beside it. Then the doctor thought something wrong with this fellow and said, you are perverted, obsessed with sex. The patient said, me? You are obsessed with sex because you are showing all sexy pictures. Now what can you say? That mind, when it is clouded, when it is conditioned, when it is engrossed, it believes what it sees as real. And it thinks what it sees and believes as real is to be believed by others also. The mind under the influence of moha or delusion or maya is like that. That is why it is not easy to get the mind out of that delusion. But the Upanishads give us guidance how to get it out. There was one person who was traveling in a train in one compartment. Suddenly he rushed out of the compartment and ran into another compartment and said, "Does anybody have alcoholic drink? Because one woman in our compartment fell down and she is in a serious condition. We don't know about her survival." Suddenly somebody took the bag out and then took the one bottle out and said, "Here is the brandy, alcoholic drink." Then this man took and then drank it and sat down on the seat and said, "My God, now only I can withstand this experience. That woman fell down and then she did not get up. It is a serious condition. I can't see woman falling down like that." The compartment people thought it is to give it to her, to wake her up or to get her, to save her. But this fellow, in order to, he could not see that side, so he took that. So sometimes whatever we see in the world, it affects us so much that we get identified and involved with it that we forget that it has not that kind of control over our mind. We forget it and we get into that. So the delusory world of objects influences of our mind in that manner. I have heard that in one pub, please get one or two couple of chairs. I have heard that in one pub or club, 3 people got together. One doctor, one engineer and one politician. 3 of them got together and they started some discussion. In that discussion, the doctor said, "I think I have understood something about the mystical things." What? The other 2 asked. See, it is said that the Eve was created out of rib of the Adam. Eve was created out of the rib of the Adam. Meaning what? As a doctor, I can say that doctor's profession is the oldest. Who discovered this, that rib of the Adam, Eve was created. Then the engineer said, no. There was so much of disorder before, and then everything was put into order by the engineer. Everything was put into order in the cosmos. So the engineer's profession is the oldest. Politician could not stand it and said, "Who do you think caused disorder? I only caused disorder." So my profession is the oldest. So whoever caused disorder, whatever it is, our mind also gets into disorder. We have to put it into order. As of now, according to Upanishads, our mind is in disorder because it is involved and identified and attached and engrossed and is becoming one with the world, forgetting about oneself or one's awareness or one's consciousness or one's subjectivity or one's identity, true identity. So it is lost in the world. So that is why there is no freedom. That is, everybody thinks, "I want to be free." If somebody starts dictating terms to other, "I want to be free." Somebody starts commenting, "I want to be free." Somebody starts criticizing, "I want to be free." Somebody starts praising, after some time, "I want to be free." Because we don't know, too many praises also we can't stand. Sometimes for some time it is okay, but too many praises we get doubt, why this fellow is praising too much. What is the inner intention behind this? So then again we get into doubts, again we get into suspicion. Again suspicion means mind gets into unrest. So that is why the mind is like that. So the important thing again here is, in another way, in another angle, already we have seen one angle, another angle it is said in the Upanishads that the embodied state of the Atman, embodied condition of the Atman, meaning getting enslaved by the body, getting into the identification with the body, entrapment of the body, imprisonment of the body, conditioning of the body, restriction of the body, imposition of the body, getting into it is because of self-conceit, or called as abhimanatva. Abhimanatva is the thing that makes it possible. This is another kind of analysis. In abhimanatva or self-conceit, what happens? That which it is not is considered as I. That which I am not I think I. I am actually the self-luminous principle of conscious awareness, which is illuminator, which illumines by itself. Self-luminous conscious awareness. It doesn't need anything else to light it up. So that illuminator illumines everything, including mind, including ego, including memory, including intellect, including body, including senses, everything it illumines. But the illuminator never gets touched by the illumined. The sun's light is there in the sky, it illumines so many things. Gutter water also, but it is not getting affected by the gutter water. Ganges water also, it is not getting purified because of Ganges water. Light is what light is. Wherever it illumines, wherever it falls, wherever it lights it up, but it is not getting touched by the illumined. Similarly, the self is illuminator. It will not get influenced by illumined. The mind is illumined, intellect is illumined, memory is illumined, ego is illumined, body is illumined, senses are illumined, sensory experiences are illumined, world is illumined, worldly people are illumined. Everything in this world is illumined. Illuminator, avabhasaka avabhasya sambandha. So the illuminator is never touched by the illumined. That we have to understand, that we have to know. Whenever we are miserable, then we have to remember this. The misery is influencing whom? Mind, ego, whom I consider as I. So that I, which is ego, forgetting its own true nature, from where that I-ness has actually come, identifies with the mind and the content of the mind and the passing thoughts and stressful, tension, misery, agony, pain, suffering, and then it thinks I am into it. So what it is not, it identifies with itself as I. The body, it is not the body, it thinks I am the body, finished. When I am the body, I am confined to this body. When I am this, you are that. So I, not I, started. I, not I. Not I means you, not I, I. And I am versus you always. The game began, the competition began. So now here likes, dislikes started, raga, dvesha began. When I got separated from you and I are separate, everything began. I am important, you are not. What I should say, you should listen. What I say, you should follow. You are at my command, you are at my demand. Why that I go, why it will keep it? It will also assert. Finished. Conflict starts, stress starts, tension starts. In very amicable, loving, affectionate relationship, everything changes. That is what we are seeing in every day-to-day living. How many times we have seen people change? Suddenly they are close, suddenly they are closed. So anytime anything can happen. So this is what is our life. So these things do happen continuously. But the problem here is abhimanatva or self-conceit. What is not I think as I. And I and not I. Then what happens? When it is I, then I is connected to senses and sense objects. What are they? Mine, aham and mama, ahankara, mamakara. I, mine. When it is mine, then there is a world which is divided, not mine. At the cost of not mine, I want to gain mine. I can cause suffering to you because I am not you. I want to be happy at your cost. I want to be great at your cost. I want to be more, achieve more, have more. I don't consider you. But sometimes because of identification as a friend, I consider you. As a relative, I consider you. As a small unit, I consider you. But this unit is pitched against another unit. This group is pitched against another group. And a year ago I have seen, there was one group who were very enthusiastic, who were very inspired, wanted to do some social service, so they carved out one nice play and they went to a particular place and then wanted to exhibit that play and inspire people towards a public, social, noble cause. The local group got disturbed. They went and complained and said, don't give the hall to them. If you give, also put these conditions, restrictions, don't give lights, don't give this, don't give that. Why? Because we have to do that, not they. So I, not I. Mine, not mine. This conflict, this starts. Everywhere this starts. Every group it has got. Provided that value system is intact, there will be no such thing. If it is not intact, it will happen. So I versus not I, mine versus not mine. I and mine, you and yours. So this is the bondage. Here starts all likes and dislikes. And with likes and dislikes, good karma, bad karma, punya karma, papa karma. And punya karma also binds, papa karma also binds. Ragadveshas bind. Ishta, ayishta. All these things will start. The bondage began, the samsara began. I, not I is the samsara. Mine, not mine is the samsara. So what is being said? So it is all ours. We are one family. It is ours. When we call it as one family, it is all ours. We are all one. That oneness is there but limited way. Either by caste, creed, or various other ways we identify with one particular group of people. But that has to extend itself to, expand itself to universal level, where all are included in our family. Because the same Atman pervades every living being. Every living being is illumined by the same Atman. Suppose there are 100 ponds and one sun in the sky, falling as 100 reflections of sun. Are there 100? Or it is only one? It is only one appearing as 100. Same self is appearing as so many people's inner self. It is only actually one self. So this knowledge will take us to real freedom. But what is happening? Because we forget that, we get into the game of I and not I, mine and not mine. We fall a victim. We become a victim. We fall under the sway of the world, worldly things, ego and mind and its contents and its components, and we are into a big trap. We have got ourselves into an entrapment, entanglement. We bind ourselves by ourselves. We bind ourselves by ourselves because of this kind of ignorance, because of this kind of identification with I and mine, not I and not mine. We get into this kind of situations. But the real position of the Atman is there are no bondages at all. It is ever free. There is no question of any binding thing to the Atman. But because of Abhimanatva or self-conceit, this kind of involvement with the matter, the Atman loses the conscious awareness of its transcendence, its transcended nature. The nature of transcendence, that conscious awareness of the nature of transcendence is forgotten. It is not there. So once we regain it, we will gain that liberation. So it is said in the Upanishad, what is Atman? Atman is Sat. It is truth. Chita, consciousness. Ananda, it is of the nature of blissfulness. Atman is Asti. It exists. Everything gets the status to exist because of the Atman. The table exists, tablecloth exists, bottle exists, fruits exist, mic exists, phone exists, all exists. Everything exists. That exists got the existence from the Atman. Because it is the Atman that is that exists, Asti. It is not only Asti, it shines, it illumines, it is self-luminous, Bhati. It is full of light. And it is not only full of light, it is Priya, because it is the most dearest thing. Everybody loves the other only because of the inner self. I am dear to others only because of the inner self. That is the most dearest thing. Otherwise, who is close to the other? Only when you are according to my likes, fulfill my ego, cater to my needs, and then my demands, my wishes, my desires. I like you, I love you. I am so close to you. And the moment you are not fulfilling my wishes and wants and desires and not acting according to my instructions and commands and directions and demands, I hate you, I go away from you, I dislike you, I don't want you, I get out of your relationship. Why? Because that's it, likes and dislikes, I and not I. So real unity happens only when this I and not I, mine and not mine dissolves. Till then, universal unconditional love or universal understanding of oneness only will protect that relationships. So this is very important. So Atman is, Asti, Asti, it is, and it is full of light, and it is always full of love and dear to all. And then because in love, when we take people close, there is joy. That love means enjoyment, that love means joy. Whenever we love somebody, we want to hug them, embrace them, take them closer to heart, then close our eyes and become one with them. That's what we do. When a grandpa or grandmother hugs the grandkids, or anybody who loves the other, that's what happens. Then that oneness, one closes the eyes, bodies are forgotten, the beings become one. Now, of course, for a brief period of time. You can't hold the person for a long time, then they will get doubts. Why this fellow is holding me for a long time, maybe plotting against me, maybe wants to hurt me, harm me, kill me, take away my property, rob my things. Any doubt can happen. You try this. Even when you look at a person also, there is time limit, few seconds. If you stare at a person, why are you staring? What is that? If you don't look, also complain. No, not looking at me. If you look at too much, also complain. I can't stand. You can't stare at me, you can't look at me like that. Even people who love each other also, for some time they look at each other. Afterward, they have to close their eyes only. You can't go on observing the other person, then they will get doubts. Maybe, some secret agent is employed to find out what are my secrets. So many things can happen in relationship. So like that, the point here is, we can look at the heart of the person, being of the person, when we have real unconditional divine love, because we see ourselves in them. The masters, realized masters, see themselves in others. Like a mother sees, father sees themselves in children. Actually, they see themselves in children. So like that, the self sees itself in everybody. The realized master sees himself or herself in everyone. So they see themselves in others, so they like others as themselves, love others as themselves. So there is no difference between I and not I. Not I also is I. The same I is there in not I also. Not mine also is mine, because the same not mine is there. Like somebody attended the first class of Vedanta like this and went to his neighbor's house and said, yours is mine. Why? Because it is said oneness, all is one, everything is one, so yours is mine. Then that fellow said, then what about yours? Mine is mine, yours also is mine. That kind of Advaita Vedanta. Sometimes people like that. I should be happy, Advaita. You should not, I should be happy. Like that, misunderstanding. So this kind of things have to be set up. But one who understands this in truth, what will happen to that person? When this Atman is comprehended, that it is, that easiness, when it is understood, one gets into the pure state of knowledge which liberates us. When we understand Atman is, that itself is enough. That easiness, knowledge of that easiness is enough, because it is connected to light, it is connected to love, and it is connected to happiness automatically. That easiness is connected to other things. They are not separate, they are together. Asti, Bhati, Priya are together. So that easiness is to be understood. That is very important. So then, one who attains this knowledge gets freed from passion, gets freed from death. Like Nachiketa in Kathopanishad, who went to Yamadharmaraja. Yamadharmaraja taught him. Once he got it, he became absolutely freed from passion, and he went beyond the death. Upanishadic teachings are like that. So, even when we understand as simple as this, I am the subject seeing this object. So, slowly, when I remove this object, only when the subject alone remains, objectless subject remains, that subject becomes purest subject, and it is no more a subject, it remains as the self, inner self. So mentally, meditatively, we can analyze in this manner. The whole world is the object, I am the subject. So mentally, temporarily, I let go of the objects, I surrender the objects, I surrender the whole creation unto God, at God's feet. And what is remaining now? When I surrender mentally everything, only the subject remains. The subject is no more a subject, but subject slowly starts getting transformed as awareness, the Atman. Even intellectual analysis like this, contemplative analysis also leads us into a state of silence. And even when we worship God also, see, God becomes the object, the worshipper is the subject, in truth. But in reality, God is the subject, we are the objects. God is the reality. But when we worship God in a form, we see God as the object, I am the subject. But when this subject knows that what is inside me as subject is not different from that God who is in front of me as an object, that object actually is the subject, this subject actually is the object. Don't get confused. This subject actually is God inside. That God which is appearing as object is actually the subject. When this is understood, that God merges into our own inner being. Our own inner being and God become one. When they become one, then there is no more the other, there is no more the two. Only transactionally people are there, transactionally other is there, transactionally Dvaita is there, but existentially, experientially, there is only one thing. That one has become many. That one has become many. Ekoham bahusyamaha. I am one, I want to become many. Bhagavan thought and became many. That's all. In all the many, same Bhagavad Tattva is there. But when the egos have been manifested, when they were activated, when they started saying I, then it gave a thought to that ego, a program like computer program. It gave a program, you are I, independent I. You think that you are independent I, separate I. It started thinking, that's all it is. You have to rewrite the program ultimately. That it is a universal I, behind it is the real I, that is present everywhere, that is present in everything. So the worshipper and the worshipped become one. Even in Bhakti Yoga also ultimately. The worshipper and the worshipped become one. Ultimately. Same way, meditator and meditated, knower and known, both become one. So that is very important for us to understand. The great Atman is undecaying, unborn, undying, and it is immortal, and it is fearless. We have so many fears, and one way we can get out of all fears is that know that we are one with the Atman, and that Atman has no fear, because when there is something other than you, there is fear. Because if there is something other than I, then that other than I can trouble me, disturb me, obstruct me, grab things from me, curse me, trouble me, so many things are there. When there is nobody else other than I, no fear. Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. When there is something other than I, when there is something which is second to me, there is fear. When there is no second to me, there is no fear. Meaning, I understand that I alone exist there. Forget about I alone exist. God alone exists in them. God alone exists in me. The same loving, compassionate God exists everywhere. That way also, we can get out of that kind of fear. Husband was about to get onto the bed where wife was already sleeping. He wanted to go and sleep beside her. When he went there to lie down, the wife kicked him out of the bed. He said, what happened? Why do you do like this? Just now I got a dream that you got into an extramarital affair with my close friend Sushila. With my friend Sushila, in my dream, you got into an extramarital affair. How can this happen? That's why I kicked you. Husband said, in a dream you saw, and you are really kicking me. What is this? But Sushila, you entertain an extramarital relationship with Sushila. Next time let her come to my house, I will kick her like this. Then the husband said, what did poor Sushila do, my dear wife? What did poor Sushila do? See, already you are supporting Sushila. Already you are taking side of, that means you have that affair. Now what can you do with such a person? One who is under the spell of the dream, identified with the dream, not able to get out of the dream, thinks the dream as real, forgets that real as real, and dream becomes real, and confuses with the real, then what else you can do with the person? She refuses to accept that you have that affair. I saw in dream. Arey, dream, Baba. No. Next time she comes, I will kick, and now I am kicking you. That is what happens to us when we get identified because of moha, delusion, or because of abhimanatva, self-conceit. That is what has happened to us in the world. That is where we lost our freedom. That is where we make others also lose their freedom. Both imprisoned people are fighting for freedom from each other. Both imprisoned people, both tied people, both embodied people, both enslaved people are fighting. I want to be free, I want to be free. We want to be free, it can be easily achieved. I want to be free, it will not be achieved. That is the biggest problem. One person came rushing to the doctor at 2 a.m. Doctor's house, knocked the door, rang the bell, doctor opened. Doctor, in the nearby community, there is something, not very nearby, but in a nearby village, there is something which has happened. So, how much do you take at this time to come and visit the village? He said, at this time, $1. Okay, doctor, get ready. Come on, let us go. So, he took his car, doctor took his doctor's car, and then this person also sat in the car and went to that village. After they reached the village, the fellow got out of the car and said, here is your $1,000. Thank you for your Uber. He utilized the doctor as a taxi. Why? Because he was not able to get Uber or taxi at that time. He utilized the doctor. So till then the doctor did not know why he is going there. But he gave the fees. But he utilized it as something else. So like that in the Maya world, people who are related to us, how they want to utilize us, use us, we don't know. Only when we get affected by it, we get shocked by it, then we will understand, Bapre, all the while I thought they are very nice, very genuine, very pure. Now they have selfish intentions, hidden agendas. What to do? We don't know. In the world of Maya, the I can think anything. It can use anybody. There were two friends, Mr. Apparao and Subbarao. So two friends. They were very close. Suddenly, some misunderstanding happened. They became enemies. They stopped talking, they stopped interacting, they stopped looking at each other with pleasantness, they started hating each other. It went on for some time. Then their friend Mr. Dabbarao was there. He came to that place to meet them. Then he came to know that these people are fighting. I will try my best to unite them. And he called for a meeting, get together, a party, where all three gathered. And he asked, why are you fighting? Both of them said, we don't remember the cause. They forgot why there was difference of opinion, why they got into fighting, why they started hating, why they started into conflict, why they stopped talking. They forgot. No, he said, when you forgot, why you want to hold on to your fighting? Become friends. No. But we remember that we started fighting. But we forgot the cause. They continued to fight. So what can we do? Our attachment with samskaras and vasanas is like that. Inside the mind there are impressions, samskaras, there are tendencies, vasanas, and out of that the thoughts, feelings, emotions, likes, dislikes, everything happen. All these are so thick inside our mind, we are identified with them. Even when somebody comes and tells us the truth, these are not real, these are not actual things, you are just identified with them, we don't come out. Like that, those two friends. We don't remember, but we want to continue to fight. When you don't remember the cause, why can't you be friends? No. That's it. That is how these tendencies and these impressions are there inside our mind, influencing how we think, what we think, and what emotions, what feelings, all these things are because of those things. Samskaras and vasanas. They are all products of Maya. They are given. They are just given by the power of Maya. Not that they start from ABCD and then end it XYZ. No, they are just given. That's all. They are there. Everybody has this kind of likes and dislikes, this kind of thoughts, this kind of vasana, this kind of impression. That's it. In a dream, do you begin everybody's birth from birth onwards, from cradle onwards? My dream also, my friend also took birth and he was cradled and then he was helped to walk. He became big. Is like that dream? In dream, all people are given. My friends are there, my girlfriends are there, boyfriends are there, relatives are there, experiences are there, encounters are there, my achievements are there, rewards are there, awards are there, Nobel Peace Prize also I can get in dream. What is there? Some people try, but they can't get. What to do? So they want to make other people, force people to give them Nobel Prize, but still they can't get. You know everybody. So what it is. So the point is, in dream, everything is given. It's just there. Everybody is there. Like that in the world of creation, in the world of Maya, all samskaras are given like that. Vasanas are given like that. From there, how we handle them is our choice. Because we get that I-ness. From there, our journey begins. That I-ness already has certain things. So that's how the journey begins. We have to go. So there was one language class going on, English language class, grammar class. So the teacher was trying to correct the student. The students were trying to make this statement. Yesterday I will sleep with your father. Statement. Yesterday I will sleep with your father. Correct it. He is saying, yesterday I sleep with the sir. Then the teacher said, no, it is not correct. Yesterday I slept with your father is correct. Yesterday I slept with your father. Then the student says, oh, you came to my father to sleep. I don't know when. What to do? That kind leads to misunderstandings and misnomers. Sometimes when we don't know how to present the language, that can cause problem. So one attorney got a case where wife and husband filed for a divorce. The attorney tried to tell them, no, wife and husband are like two sides of the same coin, like two wheels of the same chariot, and all that. He went on explaining how they should be together, should not fight, should not separate, they should be remain united, children are important, family is important. Oh, gave a big lecture. Then finally said, two wheels you remember, both are wheels of a chariot. If you want your life chariot to move ahead, both wheels should be intact. The husband said, I accept that we are wheels, but I am like a bicycle wheel, she is like a tractor wheel. Tractor wheel, bicycle wheel. How can they go together? They will go round and round there only. That is all. They cannot go ahead, they cannot move ahead, they cannot march ahead. So finally coming back to our understanding again. See, one who has this knowledge from the Upanishads understands this, that pure subjectivity is reality, is Atman, is Brahman. Objectlessness has to be attained by withdrawing our mind from the objective world and slowly from the sensory world, from the mental world, and from the mind itself, and from the ego itself, and then go behind into that which illumines everything, which witnesses everything. That is the purest subject, where it is no more called a subject. So it is just the Atman. There we have to go slowly into that. One who goes into that, how one can go? In Upanishad it is said, he who is without desire, he who has no desire, he who is freed from desire, he whose desire is the Atman, is no more under the clutches of death. That person never dies. He who has no desire, he whose desire is renounced, he who is freed from desire, he whose desire is satisfied, he whose desire is nothing but the Atman, that person becomes immortal. That immortality is the touch of the reality. That immortality is the touch of the reality. That self is immortal. It is not born, it is not dying. So that when we know, we also become immortal. That immortal Brahman is this Atman. So thou art that Tattvamasi, when it is said, Tvam, this Atman, is Tat, that Brahman. That Brahman is this Atman. Tattvamasi, thou art that thou art. So what is that? That is Brahman. What is this? This is Atman. What is here? The same from the referential standpoint of this body, mind, intellect, memory, ego, it is here. Otherwise, it is everywhere. Only from the referential standpoint of the glass, this is glass space here. And that is there. So if this is not there, so then what? Then it is everywhere. So that which is everywhere is inside, and that is Atman. That which is everywhere is outside, and that is Brahman. The inside, outside is from the referential standpoints. If you remove that referential standpoint, there is only oneness. There are no sides anymore. There is only oneness. So he who knows that kind of Atma Tattva is immortal. He who understands this always experiences bliss, always experiences peace, always is in a state of deathlessness, no bondage, total freedom, real enjoyment, real joy. Whatever happens in the world remains unaffected. Meaning, compassion is there, concern is there. One goes out to help others because he sees himself or herself in others. Goes to help, goes to attend, goes to serve, but never identified, never attached. Anything happening, he is never bothered. Only when there is need for help, he goes and helps. Otherwise, remains with oneself. And remains with oneself very satisfied. Even when you go to the person and say, the whole world will crumble into dust, very good, enough of this form and let it become dust. He will be happy. No, you will be given another birth now. Oh, doesn't matter. One more show, doesn't matter. One more play. I am okay. So like that the person will be, because whatever happens externally, it is immaterial. So that is the state which we actually want. We don't want to get affected by what people say, what people do to us, what people don't do to us when we want them to do, what people do to us when we really don't want them to do, and what they don't do when we want them to do. All this is then always complaints are based on this only. They did like this, they said like that, they commented like this, they didn't listen to me, they overdid what I told them, they grabbed things from me, they took away. What anybody can take away from whom? Everything belongs to Atman only. If temporarily they think that they are taking it away. Who? Did anybody take away the earth? But every time we see, everybody writes their name in the land records, it is mine, it is mine, it is mine. Everybody who writes has gone, is gone. Afterwards another person comes and writes his name, gone. Third person gone. Everybody is coming, dying, going. Earth remains same. Earth doesn't know who is the owner also. The plot or the lot doesn't know who is the owner also. This fellow feels identified. That which he is attached with the land doesn't know that it belongs to somebody. Land cares a hoot for the person owner. Because owners come and owners go. Owners keep changing. Objects also, gold also, money also. It doesn't know that I am attached to it. It cares a hoot for me. But I care a lot for it and get attached. And get into all kinds of entanglements, entrapments and fighting, jealousy, goes on and on. Because the objects with which we maintain relationship, they don't know that we are related to them. Like it is said, once there was a diamond that was there in the forest. Two people went to hunt in the forest. Suddenly one person saw the diamond and said, it is mine. Other fellow said, I also saw it is mine. Both of them fought and fell down, dead. But diamond doesn't know they died. That diamond doesn't know they fought for its sake. That diamond doesn't know they were attached. They were greedy. They were very eager to own it, possess it. Diamond doesn't care. Like that world doesn't care. We get into attachment. The things with which we are attached, they don't bother only. Do they bother? They don't bother. We feel like that. That is what is the reality. That is what it is. We have to understand that. When we knowingly relate with them, then we are not bothered. Doesn't matter. We do our best and leave the rest. We don't expect anything from there. Because we know this is what is the reality. Why should we expect anything? What has to come will come by God's grace. What has to go will go by God's grace. And one master used to say, if anything comes to you, say hi, hi. If anything goes away from you, say bye, bye. That's it. Every kid says that, no, when they go to friends and relatives' house, bye bye, hi hi. That's all. Same thing. You have to have this kind of attitude. So one who understands this, that person will be in real freedom. This is real freedom. All other kinds of freedoms are important, but this is the utmost important. Once we get the freedom, then there is no more bondage at any point of time. Time itself will vanish. Time itself will vanish. Objectivity will vanish. Causation will vanish. Space will vanish. Because you will be there everywhere, in everything, as everything. That is what it said. Idam amrutam, this is amruta, this is immortality. Idam brahmam, this is Brahman. This is what is the most important thing. Idam sarvam, this is everything. Idam amrutam, idam brahmam, idam sarvam. This is immortality, this is Brahman, this is everything. That everything is immortal. That which is everything and immortal is I. That is Brahman. It is not different. When we know that, then I will be freed. See, one person went to his friend and said, the cops came and warned me and cautioned me, final warning, because somebody complained that I am chasing his wife. So the cop told me, if you don't stop chasing his wife, next moment you will be behind the bars and judge will sentence you to years of imprisonment. Be careful. Then the friend advised, good, now follow what the cop said, save yourself from this police action, imprisonment and all that. He said, true, but he forgot to tell the name of the husband. I don't know which husband's wife I have to withdraw myself from. I am chasing few wives of few husbands. This is the confusion. The world is like that. Multiplicity is like that. World of multiplicity is like that. That is how it is. We are not sure where exactly is our bondage, where exactly is our entrapment, where exactly is our entanglement and attachment and identification and embodiment and transmigration. We have to come out of that. From the multiplicity, we have to come out of the worldly entanglement. That is very important for us. One boyfriend was shocked when the girlfriend came and said, I am becoming a mother. Boyfriend said, you are becoming a mother? I never had any physical relationship with you. I never had any encounter with you. How can you become a mother? Is it not cheating? Quiet. Be quiet. Understand my sentence properly. I am becoming a mother. Did I say whose mother? I am becoming a mother. I am becoming your mother. Hey, how can you become my mother? Your father offered lot of money to me to marry him. I am marrying him. I become your mother. How did this happen? No, you took me to your father. He got interested in me. He is alone. So he proposed to me. I accepted. I become your mother. So relationships can change at any point. Not that we have to distrust anybody, but we have to trust everybody. Don't lose our trust, but don't be affected if somebody changes. Doesn't matter. What does it matter? Ultimately, we are changeless. Whatever changes happen doesn't affect the changeless one. The illuminator is not affected by the illumined. The changeless principle is never affected by the changes. The moment we turn inside, we are unaffected. The moment we go outside, we are affected. So inward movement, upward movement is important. Outward movement and downward movement is to be forgotten. We have to let go of it. So now we will conclude it with Shanti Mantra. After that we can have question answers based on this subject. I sincerely thank the Vidya Deepam group, the team, the leaders, all the members who have made this event possible, and it is really their own work, their own achievement. Nothing but their own work and their own achievement. So then I also thank the Sevaks who made this possible, who out of their selfless service, who arranged, organized everything, who spent their time and energies to get together, spread all this message. I once again thank Sri Ramji and Sunitaji and Ram Hariharanji and Chitraji and all others for making this event happen. I also recognize the presence of Rangaji here and Anuradhaji, who were initially the pioneers of so many Balvihar classes and then satsangs and study groups and teachers. So your presence also touches my heart. You have done so much of service. All of people know about this. So I sincerely thank each and everyone. I also thank the Veda Temple, all the Ritviks, the temple management, the president and all the chairman and the committee for really providing us this nice place, divine, beautiful place for us to get divinized in the satsang in the presence of Bhagavan Venkateshwara. I thank everybody, and I also thank everyone who took their part to make this event possible. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Shri Parabrahmane Namaha. Harihi Om. If there are any questions related to the subject, you may please ask. But don't ask me when will the war end. Nobody knows. Yes.
Thank you, Swamiji, for such a great talk. Usually, not many talks have happened on Vedanta, and I really appreciate whoever organized.
The organizer, main important, Vedam group organizers.
Whoever organized, thanks to them also. I just have one question in respect to this topic. What I understood from what you said is we have to train the mind to think I am the Asti, Bhati, Priya, fearless component, and the Santushta, Amrita, all that. Like you have to train the mind newly that you are not a woman, you are not a Seattle person, you are not an Indian. So I'm thinking
that is an internal understanding, internal training, not to confuse with the daily interactions. Suppose you are attending an interview. They say, tell me about yourself. Don't say I am everywhere. I am everything. They will get confused.
So my question in extension to this is we do a lot of actions, like we have a lot of Kartrutva. So what is the Atman's role in this? Like I hear like Atma is Chaitanya Swarupa. Is Chaitanya the active part of us? Like, someone is initiating the action within me. Like there is a lot of actions that I perform. What is the role of Atman in me performing the action?
Adi Shankaracharya ji said, Atman is like water, watering all the plants. Seed has its own design. Whatever seed is watered, the seed fructifies itself as per its design. So Atman is helping, energizing, supporting. But what kind of tendencies are there? What kind of vasanas and samskaras and thoughts and temperaments and likes and dislikes and emotions, feelings are there? They depend upon the ego which is there, which is acting itself as the self, which is a false self, a duplicate self, an unreal self, which is functioning as real self, because there is no knowledge of that real self. That if it knows that behind me another illuminator is there which is illumining me also, then it will surrender. But till then it will not. Till then it will think I am reality. It will go on. So that has to be purified. The mind has to be purified. That has to be divinized. That's all it is. The actual Atman is only a witness. Atman doesn't cause anything. Atman supports all happenings. Because without energy, it is like a petrol, it is like a gas in a car.
So
it is like...
Atman is Chaitanya Rupa.
Yes.
What does exactly Chaitanya mean?
Consciousness, conscious presence. Because we are conscious of our thinking, no? How do we know who you are as a woman, as a man? Because we are an expression of consciousness. I know I am. When I get up, I am aware of what I am. I am this body. I am what I am. I have this name. All that. How does it come to you? It is not automatic. It is because of consciousness. That which is conscious principle makes the mind, intellect, memory, ego conscious of everything.
So it is different.
Awareness. That is the nature of it. That is the nature. In expression, it is awareness. Consciousness remains as consciousness, but when there is something else in front of it, like this creation, it becomes aware of it. It manifests as awareness. That awareness is witness, that awareness is observer, that awareness is watcher. Otherwise, left to itself, it is pure principle of consciousness.
So Chaitanya means awareness.
The consciousness. That consciousness, when it has got something else to be conscious of, it becomes awareness. That's all. Yes, sir.
So, might be a little longer question. So, we discussed today and also Vedanta, as I understand, say that the purpose and the goal of the life, apparent life here, is enlightenment and knowing ourselves or realizing the Atman, Brahman. Now, we know by your lectures and Upanishads that Brahman in itself, as you just said in this answer of the earlier question, is not the cause. It is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Asti, Bhati, Priyam. It is not the cause. Brahman alone is the cause for the creation.
Brahman alone brought everything into manifestation.
But it is independent, right? It is not touched by the creation.
Not touched. But don't say there is no cause. There is no cause means is it automatic?
So it is the cause?
It is the cause.
It is
Brahman
enabler?
the cause. There is one cause. But that cause and effect relationship vanishes at highest state, because the effect itself is understood as a manifestation of the cause. So it is only one. The same cause is in the effect also. Like the same mud also is there in every pot, same gold is in everything.
Yes.
Like that, forget about instrumental cause or various other causes, a human cause and all that. But ultimately, when it is known that there is only one consciousness pervading everything, then that cause and effect relationship is transcended. Till then,
but as long as the effect is in the motion, we cannot forget the relation between the
Yes.
cause and the effect, right?
Yes.
So we are the effect and we are in motion. So the cause is still, I can regard Brahman as causer.
God is the cause. We cannot say it came out just like that.
No, but then we are assigning a doership to the Brahman.
Not doership. There is no doership.
But it's
there.
a cause.
Doership less cause. See, cause need not have doership.
Okay.
Without doership is for ego. Doership is I and I do is for ego. Kartrutva bhavana is for the limited individuality, not universal or pervasive consciousness. There is no doership there.
So
There is only spontaneity there. Spontaneous expression. It spontaneously expresses itself as many. That's all.
So spontaneously.
There is no mind there. It is consciousness.
It's just the enabler kind of.
It is beyond mind. There is no mind there.
Yeah.
It is only consciousness. In mental level, we can say, I have this thought has become that and all that. There it is one has expressed itself as many. That's all.
So,
in itself, by itself, as itself, it is everything.
So in itself.
It is not relating to something other than itself. There is nothing other than itself. It alone has become many. And it knows it is itself. So where is the question of otherness? When there is no otherness, there is no it doing something to the other. There is no God binding somebody, God binding some people. It is not like that. It is He alone in the form of everybody. He is playing with Himself, as Himself, in Himself, by Himself, for Himself. That's all.
But He is not represented by tendencies and...
You don't interfere. Wait for it.
Yes,
Wait for it.
I'm trying to grasp what
Yes.
you just said. Okay, so He is by itself. But apparently we are also here, right?
Correct.
And our goal is to realize.
From this standpoint,
From this
a human being standpoint,
Yeah.
from the standpoint in referential way, we are as effect in the
Yeah.
creation. From here, we have to understand, because we think we are bound, we think we are tied down, we think we are not free, we think we want to have so many things.
Got
So
it.
we want to attain liberation.
So the reality in itself spontaneously expressed itself into multitude.
Yes.
And it is aware of itself.
Yes.
But while what the reality spontaneously expressed, which is apparent reality, which is not aware of itself for some reason.
To clear this, Adi Shankaracharya and great masters give us this, that they will bring an X factor called as the Maya, called as the power of God. So many great Advaitic masters also accepted that Brahman has the creative power called as Maya, or in other words it is called as power of God. We don't want to call it Maya, don't call it. It is the Shakti of the Parabrahman. So that Shakti of the Parabrahman created the world, and then the mind, intellect, memory, ego equipment also it has created, and implanted in it certain tendencies, certain vasanas, and implanted in it that self of identification with limitation, with limited things. That is where that starts behaving as if it is the self, and it continues to function. That needs the liberation.
That needs the liberation. So if I ask like who needs the liberation, then the answer would be who is asking the question.
Yeah,
in this
who
case.
is asking the question? That which is thinking it is bound.
Oh, got
That
it.
is limited. That is what is ego. That is what is aham karta. Aham karta it aham karga. That is what is asking the question.
Okay, so the causality is more or less.
That is illumined by
more
the
or less
self.
clear.
That is
then-
false reflection.
Got it. Then my follow-up would be, and I'm just trying to understand. my goal from the apparent personality is to realize the my pure nature.
Recently
Pure
took the
nature.
example, right?
But-
This space is thinking I am bound by the glass.
Understood, yes.
But actually space is not bound by the glass. Space is universal space. It doesn't know it is universal space. That which thinks that it is limited to this glass needs freedom, needs liberation. It has to understand only one thing, that it is not limited to the glass, but it is unlimited. That understanding only is liberation.
If I may then ask, what is the goal and the purpose of the creation in itself? Like, why the first wheel in the motion?
Why parents give birth to children? They will see the children, they want the children to come up well, grow well, become good citizens, help somebody, make the world a better place to live peacefully, happily, joyous. That is what the intention of everybody.
No, but
Every
this is
parent
all
wants, my
very
children want to be
difficult.
good, my children want to be helpful to the society, make the world a better place to live in, loving place to live in, secure place to live in, happy place to live in, successful place to live in, enjoyable place to live in. But it doesn't become like that. So same way God wanted to become many for sake of enjoyment, for the sake of making it better, for the sake of making it more lovable, more happy, more enjoyable. That's what is the logical reason we can understand. That's what we can understand.
Is there any reference in our scriptures about this why question
No, you go
from
through
the Atman?
any Upanishad you take up, any interpretation of any master you take up, you start reading slowly, you will go there. Like Vivek Chudamani also, you will go there.
So it's just a play, like it's just a setup, like, okay, this is how I express myself, and now you go back and realize and do all the struggle.
Yes, this is all set up. Like the movie is there. In a movie, characters are given, roles are given, actions are given, enactment is given. Director gives all. So they play their roles to the best of their capability. Suppose somebody is laughing, he makes everybody laugh. Somebody is crying and enacting an emotional scene, he will enact in such a way that the audience also will weep. So all that they do their best. But no role player gets identified with the role after the shooting is done, after the movie is done. They come out of the roles. We are identified with it, birth after birth. We have to come out of it. That's all it is, from this standpoint. We are actors playing our role to the best of our capability, but we forget that we are actors, we get identified with that. We come out of that identification from this standpoint. When we come out of that identification, then we understand we were never into it at all. That all great Reliance masters said that. We were never into it. We thought we were into it, but we were never into it. From that standpoint, from this standpoint, we are into it. That's all it is. Take your time, attend the classes that are there, meet our leaders there in the group here. So then slowly you will get into that. Any Prakarana Grantha, especially suppose for example, Adi Shankaracharya has written so many, Atma Bodha is there, Vivek Chudamani is there.
Chudamani, Tattva Bodha, Atma
That itself is enough to transport us into a higher level. That itself is enough. It will take us into a higher level. Like Shankaracharya's Sishyas are there, they have written very beautiful texts. Any one thing is enough to help us to understand what exactly they mean. Every single text is complete in itself. That's how it is. Okay? Sir, Sri Ramji. Yes.
So, Swamiji, I mean, we keep, as far as the end goal is concerned, it's very clear, right? Everybody knows, Advaita Vedanta says, I have to stop this identification with the world. I've read this. But what I've realized is nobody tells you exactly how to do it. We all, if you want to put it in gross terms.
Love, just love.
That's it.
Express your love for all, forgiveness for all. Be kind, be gentle, be loving, be forgiving with everybody in life to the maximum extent possible. Automatically we will come out of all these identifications. Simple values. Be loving, be forgiving, be gentle, be kind, be compassionate. That's all. When we are really following these values, then automatically we let go of all negativities, all shortcomings, all weaknesses, all limitations, whatever is there. If we are forgiving, we just forgive, we let go. Even smallest thing that rises in our mind, we let go and we forgive, we excuse. But again, don't get into the state that, if I keep on forgiving, they will take undue advantage of me, they will make me a doormat. Then again, we are not actually forgiving them. Then again, we come into analysis. No, that's okay. That way we want, we can choose that. But this is the best way. How to disidentify is the best way is keep loving, keep loving, keep loving. Don't impose conditions on your love. Make it unconditional. Unconditional love is a choice. Unconditional love is a decision. Unconditional love is practicable if we try. By God's grace, by God's help, by God's blessings, we can do that. But attribute it to God. Invoke God, involve God, because God alone is real. I am not as real as God is. So if we invoke God, divine will descend into us and uplift us and make us achieve that unconditional love or forgiveness or compassion. Every time we encounter any disturbance in relationship, any identification, we have to immediately call forth, summon forth this love inside us. It is said by the great masters, the power of love is inside us, the power of devotion is inside us, the power of complete total surrender is inside us. We have to summon forth it, we have to manifest it, we have to ask for it to come out, we have to plead before God to manifest this total surrender, surrendering my life itself at the feet of God, surrendering the mind itself at the feet of God, surrendering I as I am, whatever I am at the feet of God. This kind of surrender, this kind of love, this kind of gentleness we practice, automatically identification will be sidelined. Identification will lose its importance, lose its power in our relationships, in our encounters. That's what I have understood and felt. Simple things. Love, be loving, be kind, be gentle, be forgiving, be compassionate. That's all. But we have to remember this all the time. All the time. Every time something rises which creates this fight between identification and identified, immediately we have to remember this. Then we are out of that identification. Because dry kind of analysis also is good. Suppose I always constantly think, I am the awareness, I am the consciousness, I am the witness, and nothing else is real. That way also is possible. That way also we can try. But this is more easy. This is more practicable because we have to be in love with people, we have to be in relationship with people, we have to be in encounters with people. So better be a loving, kind, generous, forgiving, gentle, and that's it. Don't be harsh, don't be tough, don't be rude. All this is very practical. Easy to talk, easy to tell, but practice, it is very difficult. Practically, it's not easy. If we try to practice, we are out of the identification. That's what I felt, more easier way. Otherwise, there are other paths also, various paths are there. Path of meditation is there, path of bhakti is there, all they are there. But this is more easily practicable for many people, majority of the people. Loving, forgiving. Yeah, please, you take your time.